mistake, then regardless whether you have recited the Fatiha or not, you sit down and you finish the salah normally. And then when you finish the salah, you perform 2 sujood of sahu before the salam or after the salam. You have a choice. It's preferable if you have added something to the salah to perform the 2 sujood after the salam. So you perform salam, then you perform the sujood, then tahiyyat again, and then salam again. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Assalamu alaikum.
Nowadays, cloning, sheep cloning, camel cloning, the meat we are buying, but we don't know whether it's cloned animal or not, whether it's halal, haram, any problem to eat cloned animal. We know it is cloned or we don't know, both situations.
That's a good question. It's a relevant one about animal cloning nowadays. So the brother is saying, if I am buying a sheep, I don't know if it has been cloned or not. I'm not aware that cloned sheep are being sold so far. But anyway, even if they were, now the form of cloning is basically just removing the DNA from one of the cells of an animal, inserting that into a receptive one, and then inserting it after fertilization. It will be inserted back, and it will just, the main thing is that it will take the full characteristics of the DNA that was taken, because the other one that is in the female egg will be removed. So it will be identical to that one, the one from where they took the DNA. From the Islamic point of view, I'm not seeing any reason why such meat should be impermissible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Probably it will need more discussions. But generally, if the animal was slaughtered normally, it was not maltreated before, and was slaughtered normally in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by a Muslim or by the people of the book, then it's permissible to eat that meat. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now,
Sheikh, I have 2 questions. One is about in the Isha prayer, you read about riba, which ayat is that, and little bit of translation of that. And what is the characteristics of a mushrik, what is given in Quran? You can advise on that.
that is very lengthy, but in short, the riba is forbidden in Islam. It is greatly forbidden in Islam. This is mentioned in the Holy Quran and the verses that we recited in the first rak'ah and the second rak'ah, and this is clarified by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's such a big crime in Islam, or a big sin in Islam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you will not decease, if you will not stop that dealing, then be aware of a war, or be warned of a war from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messengers against you. This is the only sin upon which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared war. No other sin is mentioned in the Quran. This is the danger of usury or interest. There are many problems with such a system. First and foremost, it is taking advantage of the poor and needy. Those who are in need of money, those who are taking money because they cannot afford it, from those people you are going to take the profit. In Islam, when there is a poor person or a needy person, you should actually help him or support him. You give him from the zakah if he deserves zakah, you give him from charity, and if he is unable to pay, you relax and you wait for him, or if you could, you just forgive him and remove all the debt. This is the Islamic rules. Not take advantage of a person who is already in need. The second problem is that actually it does not work. Systematically it does not work, because the usury is something that is extra upon the money. So imagine that there is, for example, all the banknotes that are existing in this world are 10,000, just to make it a small figure. So if people are borrowing from this, they have to return that with an interest. Imagine if all people borrow that 10,000, they have to return, for example, 10,100 or 10,200. The extra 100 or 200, they don't exist even in paper money. How will they be able, even if all of them were successful, all of them were willing to pay back, they will not be able to, because it does not exist. So as a system, as a whole, there are many problems with it, socially and even financially, and from the Islamic point of view in people relationship or the needy people. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a criteria that if you stop the dealing, you deserve your capital, nothing extra. So example, if somebody didn't know about this rule, or he's a new Muslim and he's already given money as a loan to someone on an interest ground or interest contract, when he repents to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he deserves the capital only. The extra, this is illegal money. So he does not deserve it. And if someone is having an account in a non-Islamic bank or an interest-based bank, and they gave him interest, that money does not belong to him. The interest, the capital is yours, the extra money, the interest money, that is not your money. This is illegal money from the Islamic point of view. You have to spend it in public services. You have to remove that. So that is the general guidance regarding this. The next point is a bit lengthy, probably later on, about the different usage of the word shirk in the Holy Quran. Inshallah, we'll explain it later on. This was, we recited from two surah. The first rak'ah was from Surah Al-Baqarah, the last 1.5 page, before the last page. And the next one in the middle of Surah Al-Imran, about half a page or 2 quarters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Loans or something like from the Islamic bank or something like that, is it coming into the riba or something?
The brother is asking about taking a loan from an Islamic bank to buy a car or something. Islamic banks don't give loans. They don't operate this way. Their operation is quite different. Probably you are referring to finance. Yeah, they call it finance. That is a different one. Finance is a form of trade. They have so many different forms, but all of them involve a commodity or an item to be traded, sold and bought, exchanged between the two parties. So if you are willing to buy a car, for example, the bank will buy, register, and own the car. And then, yes, he will be the owner. And then he will sell it to you at a different price on installments. The price will not be the same, of course, it will be different. Like any supermarket is doing, for example, he's buying the item at a price, he's selling it at a different price, right? So there is no harm. From the Islamic point of view, this is trade. There's no harm. So far, there's absolutely no harm. Understand that? So this is, don't say that is why even Islamic banks are actually not doing their business. They should clarify to people that this is not a loan. This is 2 different contracts. The bank, yes, this is a finance. The bank is actually having a contract of buying the car from the dealer. So it will still be in the name of the bank, even when you get it. They will transfer it to you only after payment. So they're waiting for the full payment. When you pay them in full, they will transfer the ownership to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. So Islamic banks, inshallah, they're not
fixed profit per annum, per year. So it is okay?
Regardless, yes. Yes, this is a sale. For example, you go to a supermarket, you tell him that I would like to buy a certain item. Let us say rice, 500 kgs of rice. What is the price? He'll tell you that this is, for example, 2,000 dirham. Okay, tell him, but I'm not going to pay you now. I don't have money with me. I'll pay you after 1 year. How much will you consider that? Will he sell it to you for the same price or a different price? He will increase the price. So regardless of how much they increase, yes, I'm willing to sell you this car, but as long as you are not paying me cash or in full, or you are paying me in installments, if you are going to pay me in 1 year, I'm going to take 10% profit. If it is going to be, for example, in 2 years, I'm going to take, not 10% is a huge number, 2%, for example. If it's 3 years, I will increase. There's not, this, because this is in dealing. What is haram is if after all this agreement, you were not able to pay, or they increase the period, you increase it and they want to increase the price. No, the deal has already been sealed. This is not allowed. So the difference between them, this is the difference, yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now.
They will charge this, like if I have the whole money for the car, I want to pay early, but they will charge early settlement fee, 1% or something.
That is problematic, except if it is extra paperwork that they have to do. Else, this is quite problematic. Yes, so just check. And generally, it should not be a percentage. Generally, it should be a fixed amount. If it is in regard to extra paperwork that one employee has to settle down, for example, or do. But that is quite problematic. That is problematic in Islamic banking. And they do have some issues, minor issues. But still, this is problematic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Naam. Naam. Assalamu alaikum.
Regarding the marriage, a man decides to marry a woman, but like in the country, India and Pakistan, we do have two ceremonies, we do engagement before and then marriage later. So if a boy does engagement, then is he allowed for him to
What does engagement mean in your tradition? Do you mean that there was the agreement to marriage, the offer of marriage and the agreement between... Yeah, the verbal, no problem. But verbal, the guardian of the female is there, and the person who is marrying, and he asks for her hand in marriage, and the guardian accepts, right? And there are two witnesses? No witnesses. So it's just... Yeah, but at this moment, the agreement, that agreement, there are no requests for marriage. I came to ask for the hand of your so-and-so in marriage. No. That is just a request or a promise. And they can't change their minds, both of them. No, this is not marriage. So they are still considered foreigners to each other. From the Islamic point of view, they are still considered foreigners. Absolutely. There are very few relaxations when there is a need, for example, to see her in the presence of her guardian or one mahram, to decide whether to go on with the marriage or not, to speak with her, etc., but not to be private or to speak beyond need, etc. So at that time, they are just foreigners. Still, this is just a promise. This is not binding to any one of them. They can't change their mind, he can change his mind without any legal liabilities whatsoever, no connection. So if you are talking about this only, that is not considered. In some traditions, they refer to the engagement to the what is called the Islamic marriage, the actual one. So a request for marriage and the acceptance of the guardian and the acceptance of the girl. And then there are two witnesses. This is full marriage. From the Islamic point of view, this is full marriage. If both spouses are agreeing and the guardian of the female agrees and there are witnesses, and it has been announced even within just few groups of people or within the family, from the Islamic point of view, this is marriage. Even if you haven't written down or anything, no, this is enough. Now they are considered, they can be together, they can go out together, etc. They can speak, they can do whatever. They are husband and wife from the Islamic point of view. So this is a solution in case they would like to build the relationship before the actual marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. We'll conclude inshallah with two more questions. Any other? Two more questions, three inshallah. Now.
Regarding the first question, if we have doubt of missing our main part in the salah, so what should we do? Should we...
What do you mean by a main part in the salah?
I'm in doubt that whether I, 2 rakat I have to pray, but I'm in doubt that whether I pray 2 or not. Maybe I pray 3 or 1.
No, you are praying 2 rak'ah? 2 rak'ah. And then in the second rak'ah, yeah, you are worried whether this is the third one or the second one. You are not sure whatsoever, at all. At all. You pray the third rak'ah as the second one. Okay, you built on the minimum. The minimum is, you are sure that you have prayed 1 rak'ah. You are not sure whether you prayed the second or not, so you pray the second. And then you perform sujood sahwi after you finish. Okay, clear? Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
How do these trees and sun and moon communicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because in Quran they say they glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, prostrate, and they shed tears. How do they...
Shed tears, where does it say that? No. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran that every creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything in this creation glorifies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we do not comprehend their glorification. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we do not comprehend it. How can we explain that? God knows. What form of or how, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Is it in their movement? Is it in their creation? Is it in the atoms, in their rotation? God knows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. What form of glorification there is? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we do not comprehend it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have already clarified this in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now.
Person who is leading the prayer, imam, if he feels that he has broken the wudu during the prayer, can he leave the place and ask somebody else to lead the prayer?
Yes. If he could do that before breaking the wudu, if he had to move or if he had an urgency or he remembers something and he had to leave the salah or he was about to faint, it is permissible to bring someone from behind to continue the salah. And the deputy of the imam will build upon where the imam has finished or stopped. built from there. Exactly. Provided that he had joined him before this, before he breaks his salah. So he was with him. If he is a late comer, after this problem, he cannot be a deputy for the imam. So if he continue with the imam until he finishes, and there is no problem with the rest of the salah, they continue the salah normally. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Naam. The brother first. Naam.
دكتور تكلمنا انه الشيطان عند ذكر الله وعند تلاوة القرآن يهرب.
نعم.
طيب كيف يوسوس في الصلاة؟
جميل.
هذا السؤال. السؤال الثاني ذكرت في إحدى
نكتفي بهذا وبعدين ولا لا عشان الوقت يعني عشان الوقت إن شاء الله. The brother is asking that it is well known that shaitan escapes when the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned. So how come inside the salah when you are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or in remembrance, how does the shaitan then whispers to us? First, the shaitan does not escape all the time. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the shaitan with two descriptions. Al-waswas al-khannas. The whisperer, the one who whispers, usually bad thoughts or bad ideas, trying to distract you from important things, especially in ibadah and worship. And al-khannas, the one who shies away, diminishes. So when you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he stops the waswas and he diminishes. He just escapes. Does not leave necessarily. It's waiting there. When he leaves inside the masjid, the Messenger of Muhammad clarifies it. So when the adhan is performed, the shaitan leaves the salah, the masjid. When the adhan is over, the shaitan returns back. When the iqamah is raised, the shaitan leaves the masjid. He cannot withstand that. When the iqamah is over, he enters back. That is when he's trying to find gap or trying to whisper. So yes, shaitan does enter the masjid even if you are inside the salah. So the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that he is khannas. When you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, he stops, he removes. Even if he's starting whispering to the salah. The Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us what to do. When a whisper comes to you in the salah, shaitan is trying to distract you from concentration in the salah, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim and blow to your left. Say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim 3 times. Continue the salah. This is inside the salah. Inside the salah. And continue the salah. It will disappear very quickly. It will disappear. If you continue that in a few days, it will stop altogether. It will become useless for him. Not funny anymore. It's not working anymore. So it will stop. However, if you are praying in Jama'ah, don't do that. Huh? If you are in Jama'ah, you cannot, yes, do it just slightly to the left or something, but not towards the person to your left. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Last question from the brother now. Yes, exactly. Scholar, yes, and understood. Yes, the brother is asking about the verse in the Holy Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, today I have fulfilled your religion for you. This is in Surah Al-Ma'idah. And the brother is asking, has any verse been revealed after that or not? Scholar dispute regarding that. Some of them say this was the last verse from the Holy Quran ever. And some of them say there are other two verses were revealed after this in the Holy Quran. But what was stopped at that, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says fulfilled, means no new rule or regulation came. So the rules were already over. So whether the first opinion or the second, all of them are very close to each other. So those who say it was the last one means from rules and regulation. There was absolutely no other one. And those who say it was not the last one means there was another 2 verses revealed after it, but they were not concerned with rules and regulation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. We conclude with this. If it is not urgent, could we delay it? Go on. Yes, inshallah. Yes. If a woman embraces Islam and her husband is not a Muslim, then the marriage cannot be continued normally. Usually they are given a waiting period, the actual iddah, the actual waiting period of a woman. That duration, their marriage is put on hold. They can't have intimate relationship or anything. And the husband must be informed of her choice and what will happen later on. That if he will continue this way, they have to be separated. They cannot. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ الْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make an authority of a disbeliever over a believer. The husband in Islam has authority over the family. So that is why that marriage has to be separated. They have to be separated from each other. If the husband, at any moment, if the husband embraces Islam during that period, they can continue normally, return back and continue normally as husband and wife. If he does not, then they are separated. Clear? Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. If the man embraces Islam and the woman does not embrace Islam, if she was from the people of the book, that is a Jew or Christian, they can continue the marriage normally. There's no harm in that. They can continue with their life. If she was not from the people of the book, no. Again, they are separated if she does not join Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, if the actual nikah, the original nikah was correct according to the religion, their religion, and the Islamic requirements, there is no need to repeat it. No need. If something was missing, they renew the nikah and correct it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.